So before this video starts, I noticed on the last video that I did a Planet Crafter that you guys actually really did quite enjoy it. So I just want to say, if you do enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. I will really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for all the support on the last video. And let's get straight into the new update. How's it going, everybody? Decisive TV here. I'm back for another video. Today I'm talking about the new Planet Crafter update, which is 0.4.011, and this is a very major update. This is called the Caves and Crater update, as you can see on screen. And the reason for this is because they're adding a bunch of new biomes and expanding the map and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a whole bunch of additions to this game just within this update. So I have the changelog pulled up right here so all of you can see. As you can see in the major changes for the full changelog, they have removed the ability to craft Pulsar Quartz, and they have the reasons at the end of this page. Them removing the ability to craft Pulsar Quartz is absolutely game changing. Some people are going to complain about it, some people are going to be happy about it, but this is basically going to be the new rare material of the game. Because as we know, especially from the last video that I did talking about the new update, that zeolite is getting its own cave, meaning it's going to be renewable and it's going to be easier to find, making it not as rare of a material. But we'll get to their reasons at the end of this page, and I will give my opinion on it. So they've added some new objects like a teleporter, which is absolutely awesome. I can't wait to mess around with that in the game. It seems super duper cool. It's going to make traveling across the entire map a lot easier. Exploration is going to be way easier as well. So I think this is overall going to be really good for the game, especially since the developers specifically want people to go out and explore the entire planet. They've added an alloy rod for some crafting, different objects or rockets even. Just some more of the endgame stuff is going to require the alloy rod. They've added the torch tier 2 via blueprints. The torch tier 2 is basically double the torch tier 1. They've expanded the area that the torch tier 2 lights up by double the tier 1. So it lights up way more. It's not very useful in night still, but in searching all the rubble that's on the planet, the different planet crafter, the old planet crafters like spaceships or whatever, super duper useful. There's the GPS rocket tier 3, which we explored in the last video that I did. It's basically like the GPS rocket tier 1 and tier 2, but you get to see more of the map on the map screen that you can build. And the model just has 3 layers of the panels instead of 1 or 2 layers. Now this rocket is super interesting. Map information rocket. Basically, from my understanding, it shows different things on the map, like beacons maybe, or maybe even different materials on the map. I'm not entirely sure. We're gonna hop into some gameplay in a little bit, so then we can actually explore and kind of figure out that sort of stuff. So changes, they have new places, as we said. There's the arches, Meteor Crater, and a balcony. There's some world changes. There's 3 new biomes, which is the Arches biome, Meteor Crater, and Balcony. All 3 of these biomes we'll explore later in the game, but they're super duper cool, especially the Meteor Crater. That thing is kind of wild. There's 4 new caves. Obviously, we mentioned the Zeolite Cave, the Pulsar Quartz Cave, so we can actually get Pulsar Quartz, but it still is a very rare. There's a Uranium Cave, which looks absolutely amazing, and an Osmium Cave, another Osmium Cave, which we'll see later in the video on where that's located. There's also 1 new golden crate, which we'll find later in the video as well. There should be chapters in this video, so you guys could just skip around and see specific things that you want to watch, or just watch the entire video. Up to you. I prefer if you watch the entire video, you know. Just some of the quality of life things. Seeds from a food grower stays in when food is harvested, so instead of taking the food out and getting a seed with it, the seed would just stay in the food grower and continue growing food, which I think is a really great addition. Just saves a little bit of time. Improved mapping screen, so you can press the plus or minus button on your keyboard. Screen shake intensity option, which is awesome. I'm definitely going to be using that as a content creator for this game. I know a lot of people don't like it, and myself, I don't really like how much the screen shakes whenever meteors come down as much either. So I think it's gonna definitely help with recording videos and making sure people aren't gonna throw up. They added an arrow on some objects when in building mode, which we'll see later in the video. It's very handy. It points out the direction, like the front of the object, and like where you would actually use it. You can press control in inventory, transfer all items from the same group if pressed while clicking an item, which is definitely going to be handy whenever you want to transfer a bunch of items into a chest all at once. You can press control to rotate a building 90 degrees. Chain building, you can press control and just build a bunch of builds against each other, which is definitely going to be very, very handy. Chain crafting, that's also going to be very handy so you don't get kicked out every time you craft something. And as they said, they show the beacons on the map, so that's going to be very, very handy. Especially if you have multiple bases or anything like that, then the beacons will definitely come in handy now. They've added a few bug fixes, which you guys can just look at all of that. I don't really want to take up too much time for this video, but all of them are very, very handy, and a little bit of performance fixes. So hopefully the game, if you're running them on a potato PC or just on high graphics, then maybe it won't make your PC run like a french fry as much. There's those performance fixes that they've done, which you guys can just look at right now if you want. There's some miscellaneous additions that they made to the game, which I think are all really good for the game. Some things are resized and some things are just changed to make the game either easier or harder for the player, and just some little quick additions to the game that isn't like overall like, oh, this is such a game-changing thing. It's just little things that are pretty nice to have. And as we can see, they left a little thing at the end of the page like they said they did on why they removed the Pulsar Quartz crafting option. So Zeolite, since it's getting a cave and that sort of stuff, it's easier to find, making it not as rare. And you craft Pulsar Quartz, I'm pretty sure, out of Zeolite, or you used to at least. So they really wanted to emphasize exploration in this game. So they wanted people to go out and explore in order to get this rare material Pulsar Quartz, which is used for a lot of end game items. It also gives them room for adding features and new biomes or whatever for Pulsar Quartz, which in my opinion is really good planning from the video game developers standpoint. And so they're going to be listening to feedback from the community, which I will link down below the Discord. I'll have an invite link for the Discord so you guys can join. People on there are super helpful and super nice, so you can leave ideas or your own opinions on what you think about the Pulsar being removed from the crafting. I just think that it's going to leave for a lot of room for a lot of growth for this game. A lot of creative room for these developers since they've done this. And I definitely agree with them. Having a new rarest material since Zeolite is getting its own cave is definitely a really cool move. Anyway, that's all for the changelog. Let's go ahead and hop into the actual gameplay, and let's go ahead and explore around, find some stuff, do some stuff, and test out the new added objects in the game. So yeah, as you guys can hear, there's actually music in the title menu, which is awesome. And one of the biggest changes, in my opinion, is there's not a whole lot of terraformation index for these, so there isn't a huge change in the world, like there's no blue sky or clouds or whatever. And the one where I have a bunch of terraformation index, it changes. There's actually like a progression in the title menu, which I think is absolutely amazing. So we have this blue world. But starting off in here, so starting over in the kind of starting area, we can go into the cave, and once you get the ice melted, you can go ahead and come down into here, into the Osmium Cave. Going all the way back, it takes you to this little area which leads into the Zeolite Cave. So from the Zeolite Cave, you can just take a left and go all the way up and through here and up into the opening right here. And through here, we can see the new Meteor Crater. It's so amazing. I absolutely love looking at this thing. Every time I come out of this cave and I see this, it blows my mind. Obviously, a big crater or a big meteor is in the center, so let's go ahead and go over to it. So there's actually nothing in the meteor right now. Yeah, there's a little bit of iridium right there, but nothing too spectacular with it, except for a little bit of iridium. But the biggest part of this place is that there's two bases. Enable my fly mode. Let's go ahead and be able to explore a little bit easier. But over here on the opposite side of the entrance, we can see there's this little ladder, but there's also going to be some solar panels, so it's a bit easier. So you can actually head into here. Let's turn on our flashlight. This is a tier 2 flashlight, by the way. It's super duper bright. I would definitely recommend getting it. So we can actually climb down into here. This thing is huge. There's so much to explore, so many crates and whatnot. There's a gold effigy at the end of it are in a little bedroom sort of thing, but you guys will have to go explore that for yourselves. So the second base, which is actually the first base, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of water, so they built up high, the old planet crafter. There's actually a base right over here. There's a little ladder right here, and it's submerged underwater, so it's just this little thing. There's a little bit of oxygen capsules, space food, and read the message, which is a bit more lore for the game, which I absolutely adore. But yeah, so there's a locker here with a whole bunch of goodies, and in the other base you can find a blueprint microchip inside the base. So go ahead and explore the Meteor Crater, super duper awesome. But back in the Zeolite Cave, instead of taking a left, we just want to go straight and through the cracks and that sort of stuff. Here we are in the Arches biome. So the Arches biome is super duper awesome. There's quite a bit of stuff. As you can see, there's a few crates that have a whole bunch of goodies in there, and there's a whole bunch of materials spread out through this biome. So there's also a debris kind of thing over here that has a whole bunch of stuff in there. There's a whole bunch of crates with a whole bunch of goodies. I would definitely explore that. That will give you a whole bunch of materials that you need. There's a crate over there. But one of the biggest things about this biome is if you go over here and you take a left, stick to the left side of the Arches biome, there's a cave over here. So this cave, there's ice that actually starts melting at 45 something Kelvin, Omega Kelvin. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I'm not something of a scientist myself, so yeah, that's my fault. But going into here, here is one of the Osmium caves. Has osmium, of course, and sulfur like usual. But if we actually continue going back, we can see fog actually changes, and we get kind of this pinkish sort of fog, very dense fog. Clearly this game likes going off of fogs representing different materials, blue for osmium and pink for pulsar quartz. So this is the Pulsar Quartz Cave. There's a whole bunch of stuff back here. There's a whole bunch of ways throughout this cave that you guys can explore, and you can find a whole bunch of goodies. So I would definitely explore this part. It's a very cool cave. But if you actually go left here and you continue going this way, and you take you go right and then you take a left, you can actually go out through here. Here's another exit towards the cave and another entrance towards the Meteor Crater, which is awesome. So yeah, that's the Osmium and Pulsar Quartz Cave. So I told you guys that there was another golden crate, and the location is just right over here. So here's the Arches biome and the sand fall. So if we actually go up here and we go through here, there's a little opening right here, and so there's a golden crate right here, which has obviously the golden effigy, golden seed, and a whole bunch of other useful things. So that's awesome. But yeah, so that's where that is. But here it is in reference to being at the bottom of the sandfall. So it's right there, that little gap that you see right there. So there's a metal rock, and then there's that. So it's going to be right in there. So there's another Osmium Cave, which you can kind of see. There's a little bit of a white, kind of unrendered sort of thing. But right through here, if we go into the sandfall, we can see a whole bunch of rocks right here. And this leads into the second Osmium Cave of the updates. So there's a crate in here with some stuff that will definitely be very, very useful. I don't know entirely what the bioplastic nuggets are for just yet, but I'm sure we'll figure that out. So out of there and into the Uranium Cave, if you go kind of towards the center-ish, there's going to be this huge vine once you get enough terraformation index. You can actually climb this vine, and it leads you up here. This is the balcony biome. There's actually a bit of zeolite. There's some trees and stuff, naturally forming trees, which is awesome. But yeah, so there's a bit of zeolite scattered throughout this biome that is definitely useful. And there's a crate up here, which has, of course, more goodies. And so if you go up here, this is why it's called the balcony biome, because it's kind of like a balcony. So this gives you like basically a full view of the whole starting area. It lets you see a whole bunch of stuff, and this view is absolutely amazing. I really, really love this. And to get down, you can either jump off. If you have a jetpack, you can save yourself from dying, or you can just go back to the vine and climb down the vine. But I'm pretty cool, and so I'm gonna jump off and use my jetpack to save myself. And there we go, boom. Easy as that. So that's awesome. Moving away from the balcony biome and over to the Stargate Enterprise, I don't know, over to the Stargate, we can actually go ahead and go find the Uranium Cave. So from the Stargate, you want to walk towards the sand, the red sand biome, So over here in the red sand biome, if we stick to the right, there's actually this little divot. So going through here, there's a little crate in here that we can see. So the Stargate is right over there, and in this divot, there's an opening that leads into the Uranium Cave. Oh my gosh, this is probably one of my favorite caves. I really love the green glow and how much of it, how much uranium there is and how much it sparkles. So there's actually a crate in here which has some, of course, goodies. Yeah, so that's the Uranium Cave, and that's where it's located. So once again, Stargate, you walk over and stick to the right side and go down into the divot, and there it is. So I really want to explore with some of the the new builds, like the teleporter. Now that we have all the materials for a teleporter, let's go ahead and go out here. So this thing is actually like fairly big. Oh yeah, so that's one of the changes. There's actually an arrow, as you guys can see, that actually points where the front of the object is. So here's the teleporter in all of its glory. It looks absolutely cool. Obviously, you need 2 teleporters because that doesn't really make too much sense to have that. So we can actually change this text, and let me turn off my flashlight. So if I call this teleporter, boom, teleporter 1, and let's go set up another teleporter. So yeah, it's always been super duper annoying to have to travel across the entire map. So my base is all the way over there, and I really want to set up a teleporter over here. So I think if I just go ahead and place that, and let's call this red sand. So if we enter this and use the teleporter, we can select our destination. So teleporter 1, and that makes, whoa, that makes a super duper cool particle. So let's go ahead and do that. And as you guys can see, just teleports you like so. That's awesome. Super duper easy transport just at the click of a button. Super duper easy stuff. Definitely a very expensive thing, but also very, very useful. As I said, there was a new rocket, which I kind of want to see what that's about. A map information rocket. Super alloy rod, 2 osmium, aluminum, microchip compass, and a rocket engine. Alright, so let's go ahead and craft that up. And I've never seen this before, so this is completely new. Whoa. Wow, yeah, so this looks really, really cool. Has a bunch of solar panels on the side. Has like this dish looking thing at the top. That's awesome. All right, let's go ahead and launch this. There it goes. Bye. Whee. Let's go see what it did to the map. So if we go over to our map, aha, there we go. So that's what it does. It actually points out certain things, like Uranium Cave right there. There's sulfur plains, Zeolite Cave, Osmium Cave, super alloy place thingy, whatever. Uranium Cave over there, aluminum flats, osmium flats. It seems like what the map information this rocket does is it actually locates the different kind of caves and where all the materials are. So that's super duper handy. Wow. Again, that rocket looks super duper cool too, so. But yeah, so that was basically the entire update and where all the kind of locations are and that sort of stuff. So if you guys did enjoy, remember to hit that like button down below, subscribe if you're new here. Go ahead and go play this update. I'll also link the Discord for this game in the description below. Go ahead and join that. There's a lot of cool people on there that can definitely help you out if you have any issues, or you can put ideas and that sort of stuff. The developers of this game do listen to ideas from the community. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fun time playing the new update of the Planet Crafter, and I hope I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day. Bye bye.